what they're about, and then once everyone's made their introductions, you guys can role play and come up with you guys' take your crew name.
Are these introductions in character or out of character?
Introductions out of character, and then how you guys would come to the table with the rest of your crew in character.
Cool, not it.
Whether you're late or whether you're on time or
I see there's no takers.
Okay.
No, we're all
Actually, we're all
takers.
takers.
Hey.
Yeah. So seeing as everyone shows up late, Simp Card arrives.
Who said that we showed up late?
Hey, no one's taking the initiative here, so I'm saying Simp Card arrives 15 minutes late, and no one else was there, so he's like, oh, I showed up early.
No, you're not allowed to have
No.
that power, sweetie. You describe when you come,
You
and we'll
better
describe
show up
when we
first.
come.
You better show up first.
Maybe we did. Describe yourself, bitch.
Alright, so
I'll show
showing
up
up
late.
showing up X amount of time late is Simp Card. He's a not exactly a groomed fellow. He's a bit, scraggly here and there. Wears a lot of layers of clothing, both to keep warm and because he's a little bit of a hoarder personality type. It's like, yeah, there's 20 holes in my jacket, but it's my favorite jacket. I'll just throw another jacket on top. Sort of guy. Like he'll wear it until it's done. That's quite his personality. Keep on going till it's done. So he's probably been seen around the town a few times, doing odd jobs here and there. Nothing too spectacular after all. Doesn't exactly have any real professions going for him. He's more of a jack of all trades, but a little bit more towards finding things and fixing things. That's our boy Simp Card.
So what's his rep like then?
Say again?
What's his rep like?
I'd imagine his rep is probably along the lines of definitely not charming, definitely not. Maybe dependable, but do you really trust the guy who's wearing rags? Do you? I don't think so. But he is a hard worker. He does work. He doesn't laze around all the time. He's doing stuff. He's out and at it. So he probably has a neutral or maybe a slightly less positive rep, considering he looks like a hobo. But then again, probably half the population looks like hobo, so he doesn't get much.
Alright then. Well, Nutcracker does show up on time. So, on the dot kind of thing. Arrives in. Doesn't seem very interested in talking to anyone. Is just waiting there. She doesn't exactly have the best rep either. Most people may avoid her. But she works hard and is happy to get her hands dirty for work and stuff. So she's reliable in that regards, but yeah, she will punch you in the dick.
I love it.
And she's going to punch everyone in the dick who is late.
Yeah, Jesus.
Come at me, sis. Let's go.
Let's go, shorty.
Following up on
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
no, that's alright. You're fine.
You can go first if you want.
Tree can go first.
What?
I'll go.
Quiet.
I don't mind going. I thought you were gonna go, and I didn't want to step on you.
No, that's fine.
I'll go then. For those who showed up on time, 807 was already there. She was there at least an hour early because she already had to prep herself to the idea that she's going to be talking to people today. And so, who better to reserve a table than the person that everyone else is going to actively avoid as a 10-foot infective radius? So, she's been sitting there, and as soon as people came on time, she still hasn't spoken to you. She still hasn't looked at you. Might be the wrong table, but it's in the right place, so who knows? Out of character, 807 she looks exhausted. She's just sitting there minding her own business. She wears this huge coat that absolutely swallows her. And I don't know if she even has much of a reputation around town other than, quote, that latent that does medical stuff.
Awesome.
Also, if 807 has ordered a drink from this place, it is a cup that's wrapped in plastic wrap, and also has like the drink itself is in like a plastic bag inside the cup.
Coffee.
Well, dang.
Who's next? There's only 2 people. Can't avoid each other forever here.
I'll go next.
Okay.
All right. Jinx will probably be the last one to arrive, and when she does arrive, looks like she might be hungover. She's wearing sunglasses even inside the building, and she just kind of plops down with like this, like kind of feigned, pained smile. She looks kind of raggedy. Looks like she went out and had like a pretty good time last night. Her entire demeanor is very open and very sort of aggressive. Her reputation is definitely not great. She is definitely a party animal who has quite the temper. She'll most likely, if anyone crosses her, she'll most likely insult them mercilessly, followed by a punch if they don't relent.
Oh god,
I respect that.
she's hot.
I guess to see left entry.
Okay, so King actually goes by she or they pronouns, so I'll probably switch between both. She arrives, probably the third person there, 5 minutes late, panting, I made it! And then proceeds to look around the room, wondering who is actually on their new crew or whatever. But probably goes to buy a drink, and yeah, I think they're pretty like well known, or at least they try to be as friendly as they can to everyone they meet, because they'd rather have friends than enemies, kind of thing. They try to like do their best to belong, I guess, in a way, because they're kind of like an outsider in this place because they actually came here as a tourist. So yeah, I think they would have probably seen Jinx around because she parties a lot, and they would probably like go to those party places to dance as well.
Heck yeah.
That's pretty much it. I feel like they're the only like friendly one here. Looks at everyone else. Maybe SIM card.
Jinx is friendly.
Oh, okay, sure. Just
just don't insult her.
Gotcha. So
Gonna give King some finger guns as they're walking.
Oh.
Well, technically, the order currently it seems to be 807, Nutcracker, King, and then Jinx. And wait, SIM card and Jinx comes at the same time?
I imagine close at the same time. Like, SIM card comes like 15-ish minutes late.
Yeah, that's about when Jinx would show up too.
So we show up around the same time. Great.
Nice.
If that,
Dash.
Yep.
well, Nutcracker is not sitting down, she's kind of just leaning on the table and says, if you can't even bother to show up in time, how we expect to believe that you two have anything to bring to the table here?
Well, I have something to bring to the table, darling, and I'm gonna smash my axe on it.
Okay. All right. I need two things.
Zip card was going to say something. He's starting to say something, but right off the table, like, whoa.
I imagine that like all conversation in the bar dies.
I need two things before I get into what happened. One, I need people that were here on time, which I think is only two of you. I need you to roll self-control.
Any bonus
That
if we never
Self-control?
expected anything from them anyway.
Self-control check. So that's on your skill sheets. That's going to be your self-control. If you any points in self-control, just roll 2d10. Your first dice is going to be your black dice. The second one's going to be your red dice. If your black dice is above your red dice, you succeed.
How do we do the fancy thing?
Modifiers. What about the modifiers?
If you have a modifiers, you just do like 1d10 plus your modifier, and then another 1d10. Or you can add to it after the roll.
How did you do that fancy thing that Red did?
I have macros available to everyone in the macros section.
Should I?
Where?
I forgot.
Yes.
It doesn't have the modifiers in it, but it does have the little fancy thing. You can add your macro. You can add your bonus onto the black afterwards.
Okay, so the black is ours.
Yes.
So true. If you go on the one that looks like a bullet point list called macros, you can then put a blue tick box on what you want the macros to, what macro link you want to show up at the bottom of the screen. You just need to click it whenever you want to hit the dice,
Oh.
or you can roll it manually, the way Bree's doing.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
you all can die when you do it.
Simcard, you were not. Were you on time? You're
No. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Leave me
Okay.
alone.
All right, that's fine.
Don't
So-
worry about it.
Alright.
Nutcracker, you succeed on your self-control. You know, it's a bit like, oh boy, but you're okay. 807.
So
I need you to take 1 point of stress humanity threat damage.
Oh, jeez.
Because
Right
these
out the
people-
gate.
These are the people you're supposed to be working with, and they're not on time, and they made you stay out here this whole time in this public space. And you're drinking out of a cup that is surrounded in saran wrap in a plastic bag.
fucking as soon as literally by the minute, as soon as it hits the time that the meeting was supposed to start, and this entire time 807 has been deliberately avoiding eye contact and talking with Nutcracker as much as possible. Nutcracker would just see her flex her hands and just quietly.
She then says, she then says, "You still haven't said polo yet."
I'm rolling
Amazing.
another. I know.
Hey, if you'd like to roll another, go for it, because it's gonna get much worse when an axe is embedded into the table you've chosen.
I made that one.
all,
I made that
all
one.
all the quiet library-like talk has stopped at the loudest sound in the room, being your
Everyone's
guys'
looking
table.
at us.
Everyone's
gotta
now
look.
looking at
All
you.
right, well,
I'm just
I
gonna
got
look, I'm just
that
gonna
one
look at
done.
everyone and point at them. Hey, go back to your business. It's
I
not like
got-
this is the first time this has happened.
I got that one done. Allow me. Okay. We're good.
Rusty
Compose
gives
your
you
mistake.
this extremely dirty look.
I'm gonna blow him a kiss and sit down.
For the first time in this entire time, 807 makes eye contact with you, Jinx.
Gonna wink.
She hates you.
All right, I'm just gonna take this
You
seat right here.
You succeed your other self-control check, so I won't make you take another detachment damage. All right, you can continue. Your meeting.
Oh. Hello?
Well, what does SIM card say?
Simp card goes to take his seat and says, "Hey, I had other things going on. Prior obligations. You know how it is."
Yeah, it's not like we don't have a life out here.
It's not like I can't be late while out on the job. We're on the job.
We're already in the job.
Now we're getting ready for the job.
Mm-hmm.
She. Wait. Do we have the mission like as like a bullet, sort of like one of those like bounty boards where you could just pick the job? How would we get it or find what job we're doing?
I think it. That's a good question. Jim?
Jordan?
Oh lord, he dead.
Sorry, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Welcome back.
What was the question?
How do we know what job we're getting? Is there like a bounty board? What's going on?
Have you guys decided your name yet?
No.
No.
Do that first.
Okay. Wait, do they know they have to decide a crew name?
You need to put out a name. Yeah, you need to put out a name first. Yeah.
Okay.
And there is a board of takers here in Rusty's bar, so you gotta just add your name to the list.
So that's the first agenda of this meeting.
Okay, with that she says, she looks between 807 and says, well, as the only two people who actually bothered to show up on time, what do you think we should put down as a team name for now? That she pauses and goes,
All right, well,
I'm fine with that.
any ideas?
Well, all y'all, except for you, and she points at Nutcracker, are all babes. I'm Babe Brigade.
I can get behind that.
Finger guns.
Finger guns back.
Wait a second.
Until life imitates art.
I'm not a babe.
Yeah, you are. The only reason that she's not is because I'm pretty sure that'd be illegal.
He put both his hands on the table. He just has this like really like perplexed look of like, what? She misses the Raiders.
Yeah, you don't look it.
Is the axe still on the table?
Yes.
I push it off.
Hey.
I think it's like somewhat embedded. Make a resistance check.
They're tied.
It's by the naturals. Do you have resistance?
I have resistance, yeah, so it would have been 7/7.
So it would have been 7/7. Natural, so it's not a crit fail or a crit success, but ties go to the market. So you were unable to unembed the axe.
I thought what determines if it's
The natural roll. So if both dice rolled on 7 before you add your bonus to it, that is if it's a crit or a crit fail.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then you see her try and unwedge it. Doesn't unwedge. Nods to herself. Back to ghosting.
You see in the corner of your vision, Rusty gives you this look 807 of like, thanks for trying.
She just, without looking at Rusty, she just nods.
You can see like just this slight look of like, fucking that table. Man, damn it.
Damn it!
It's like back in the old days when someone would like ding their car and they'd be like, "Oh, that hurt me physically." It's that sort of like that table, man. Fuck.
That Nutcracker says, "I don't have time for this. Fine, we'll pick that name, and she'll go and sign their name up."
Make sure you spell it right. I don't know how to spell it, but make sure you spell it right.
You know how to spell?
Oh, I know how to spell. I just don't know how to spell brigade.
Oh.
I am so
Well,
worried.
what? Sound it out.
Well, BRIGDAD.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Make sure you spell it just like that.
Just like that.
There's no
She
E.
comes back and says, and Lyskis, "Yep, just like that."
Just like that.
Okay.
I see. 807's left us.
So, with that, now that you guys have decided upon your name and each have met each other, now we'll get into looking for jobs. Now, for the sake of the one shot, I already have a job picked out and set up and ready, of course. But we'll at least go through how actually finding jobs actually works. So, at the beginning of session, for most games, they have what is called prep time, essentially. Everyone gets one action, essentially, to prep for either finding or securing a job. So if you look on with the scam cheat sheet, you will see the different actions you can take. For the sake of the one shot, we'll kind of like quickly go through it, and we'll just do like 1 or 2 rolls for it, just to kind of give a little taste of what it's like. And then
Where's
if we
the
ever
cheat
do it
sheet?
again, it should be in the red markets. I didn't pin it though. Hold on, I will quickly scroll up and I'll pin it. All the different sheets here, but it's not too far up. The scam one is pinned, and then I'll pin the other 2. There you go. So all those sheets are pinned now in the red markets one shot page. So for the sake of how this works, again, you guys get one action, and most things are quite open with how you do it. You can use, if you are able to make an argument for a skill, you can use it for any of the actions that can take place before negotiations take place. The things you can do, of course, is looking for work, which lets you find a contract that someone's put out. You can find the equilibrium of a job. So when someone finds a job, someone else can roll on researching that job to figure out how much they're paying at like the lowest, or like one of the lowest amounts, like their first offer essentially for paying out for the job. The next action someone can take is researching competition. And then the last action is secure a wholesaler. Now that is for when you guys are making your own jobs called scores. We're not doing a score for this, so we won't worry about that. But essentially, I'm just going to choose 2 people, or 2 people can come forward, and they can try and use one of their skills to look for work and then look for the payment for that work. Who would like to try it out?
What would be the roles for that?
Any role you can make an argument for.
Okay, I can take an awareness or criminality.
Which one would you like to use?
How seedy do we want this job to be? I guess.
Oh, if you want, I can make an awareness roll.
I'll
And
pick
you could
criminality.
make-
Fuck it. Yeah.
Okay, so you are going to be looking for a job then. How would you describe how you're using your criminality?
Well, I left the table. And so in this time that everyone's talking, 807 will go to and any of the nearby people if she's aware. Because evidently, as it seems, even if she doesn't have a general presence, evidently she's somehow known because the bartender understands.
Well, that or they can see your face.
And she's gonna go to some of the seedier areas, some of the less appreciated one, and see if there's anyone there who's looking for work of the questionable variety. Because hey, if it's sketchy and dangerous, that's okay. I'm doing the Enclave a favor if these people, Nutcracker's fine, but if these people die.
Okay, so yeah, roll your criminality. All right,
So in this case, would it be something where it's like burning a will to swap it?
No, actually, you could burn a will to swap it, or you could use a reference to succeed.
Oh, I'll do that.
You use a reference? Okay. What reference are you calling it? And I hope it's not a cat.
No, I don't know what that is.
Sorry. Cat just randomly hops up on my desk and yells at me.
Oh, it's okay.
So again, this is where a little bit of the improv thing comes in. So yeah, just set like your reference's name and what they do and stuff like that,
Okay.
and how they can help you in the situation.
I'm trying to think of a name really quick here. Let's go.
Could be Rusty.
Ben.
Fuck it, yeah, let's do it, Rusty, my man.
Your man. He
Send
knows.
us somewhere that will kill them.
So you're looking around for a job, and because you're using criminality, you're using the more kind of subterfuge-esque of it. You're trying to keep your ear to the ground, sort of thing, and go through some conduits there. You don't find anything, and so eventually you kind of like circle back around, or you call the bar. You call Rusty. And he'll you have access to a phone here. You got to pay a little bit for it, but everyone has a little bit of time. Or you can just walk to him. But either way, when you get back, you finally are talking to him. You'll start off.
Note.
You slip him a note.
Yeah, just discreetly. They're still in here.
Of course. He looks at the note, and he picks it up with like a gloved hand.
Good. I'm wearing gloves anyway, you trash bag, but whatever.
I mean, he wears gloves too. That's the thing.
Oh, okay. So this wasn't like he gloved up just for this.
Oh no, he did. He has one hand that's gloved and one hand that isn't.
Okay.
But yeah, he picks up a note. He reads it over. He looks to you, and then he'll write some stuff down on a piece of paper for himself himself that he has, and he'll slide it back across the table.
Thanks.
And you read it, and it reads a lot of the jobs recently have been taken by the other crews, but there is one job I know of that is around. It's by a lady by the name of MATLAB. And that's all he has on it. He kind of looks at you to see if like you want more on that, or
She's waiting expectantly.
rips out another page from like a notebook and writes on it again and slides it to you. And it reads that this MATLAB is working with some of the self-proclaimed first bankers of the loss. They're all just a bunch of loan sharks that have gotten together to try and save the most top dollars possible. But she is their middleman, looking for a team to find some card laminators. Seems that they have it in their heads that they can provide a sort of exchange rate of bounty, turning more heavier set documents into easy printed driver's licenses.
Okay. And was there a specific address that we needed to go to, or to procure this?
He'll give you MATLAB's contact info and where to kind of set up a meet if you want to try and take the job.
Okay.
You'll have that down there.
She will
But you have a job.
take that. Go back to the group. Paper.
He kind of
Fling.
knocks on the bar as you're about to leave,
Stops.
and he'll look at you and he'll say the first words that he'll say for this campaign, I guess, or this one shot, and he just looks at you and just remember the tab.
Nods.
Stay safe. And then he'll let you go.
If I wanted this to be a safe mission, I wouldn't have asked you to send me on a dangerous one. Now, would I have, Rusty? No, not out internal thoughts. She comes over and literally just flings the notepad over at Tree. What's your character's name?
King.
King.
Can I try to catch it?
You can catch it.
Dangerous game.
I can just catch it. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
King
Job.
catches it. Thanks. What's this?
Job.
Reads through it. Oh, okay. Looks through it and doesn't read it out loud. Just nods their head. Yep. Okay. Sounds good. Let's go.
Care to share of the class?
Oh, right. Hands Nutcracker the piece of paper or notebook.
She sighs and she'll read it out instead. In summarized points.
Nice.
How much is this paying?
I think, Jordan, did you mention how much it was?
Nope, as a separate action. If anyone would like to research this lead and figure out how much it's paying at base price,
Yeah, I'm
and
looking at
argue a
segue.
roll and try to figure something out.
Does anyone have research?
Yes.
Oh, hey.
Thank God, one person.
You can use research, or anyone can use any other skill that can make an argument
Be
for it.
wary. If we're using King for research, King isn't able to do talking for anything else.
I could use athletics. Maybe I
You
could
can.
arm wrestle somebody for the information.
You arm wrestle someone.
You can't see it, but I have the stupidest freaking smile on my face.
Okay. Oh well, who wants to do what here? Who wants to go? I know Nutcracker wants to use intimidation to threaten someone. I think, right? Do you want to go with that, or do you want to try and find someone that has information and arm wrestle them for info?
I have a pretty sizable arm wrestling. Well, it's not arm wrestling proficiency, but it is an athletics and an unarmed and a prosthetic arm proficiency of 3.
Do you have resistance?
I do. I have a +6 in resistance.
That's insane.
That's all.
Okay, you might be able to arm wrestle someone for that.
Wait, how do you? Is that with the proficiency?
So
no, you only have a 3 in resistance. Your potential sheer strength doesn't get added to it.
yeah, so I have a +3 in resistance, but because of upgrade I have a +3 in grip and grip resistances
for
my prosthetic.
You want to use your prosthetic in an arm wrestle?
Heck yeah!
I don't think anyone would want to
I'm just gonna walk up to somebody, have one arm behind, have my prosthetic behind my back. Hey, want to arm wrestle for this? Sure, and then I'm gonna whip it out.
Okay, well, I'll
Whip
let you
it
try
out,
it. It's gonna be a bit different of a scene there than you're planning on, but we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
If you want to use that, so roll your athletics.
Do I get my +3
If you-
grip on it too?
If you're using your prosthetic arm, you can, but you're going to need to use a spend a charge on your prosthetic arm.
Okay.
Your arm has memory as well, so that is going to be 1, 2. It's going to be 3 charges to do this.
Whoa.
What's memory do?
Memory is the thing that allows you to have apps on your arm.
Oh, I
For
don't think
every-
I have that.
Yes, you do. It's under the.
Oh, there it
qualities.
is. Okay.
So for every app that you have as an upgrade, it adds to the amount you need to use. So
Okay.
instead of 1 charge, it uses 2 extra ones from your apps. So it's 3 overall.
Gotcha.
But you will be able to use the arm.
Nice.
Okay. Roll your red. I mean, it's above 13, so you obviously succeed. Okay, so you kind of start asking around a bit about this MATLAB person. Like, you know where like they're based, and you kind of figure out some people that might know a thing or two, and you start going around for people to arm wrestle for info on this job. Many people, as soon as you whip out the arm behind your back that's prosthetic, are like, what? No. What? But you do find someone else with a prosthetic arm.
Okay.
Ooh.
And he does arm wrestle you with his prosthetic arm, and you do win.
At this point, King pulls out their Ubix specs and films the whole thing. Can she do that? Is
Sure.
it like nice?
I'll let you do it. Spend the charges for your Ubix specs. Because I do remember you do have the recording equipment. So with your upgrade that you have for it, and the fact that your Ubix specs are hungry, that's going to be 4 charges.
4. Okay, I might have to save it. I'll just have to remember this in my memories.
Yes. So he does kind of, after like rubbing not the arm but like the joint of where his arm connects to him. He says, strong.
Deal's a deal, babe.
Mm-hmm. All right. Was saving this for some other people, but you're right. Deal's a deal. MATLAB's paying 15 bounty at base.
Per person or
So
per
your
crew?
crew for the whole contract.
Okay.
Nice.
It'd be nice because I'm gonna bump it up to 20, so we could split it evenly, 5 each.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, you have your equilibrium, you have your job. It's at this time that usually, for like a full game, other people will be able to roll to find work and find equilibriums. But and there's some other things that can also be done that aren't in like the scam cheat sheet. But we'll gloss over that right now. We'll say that you don't find any other work because other takers have taken them. And you guys are ready for this. You're able to kind of set up a meet with MATLAB. And this is where we get into negotiations. Let me just quickly ready something here, because I forgot to add your guys's breakpoints. So I think everyone's that's 3, that is 5, Jinx's is 4. 807's is 3, so 4, 5, and then Nutcracker's is also 3. So with that is 9, 1, 2, it's 12. It's another 3. Actually, you know what? It'll be easier if I just do this. So your guys'
So
total
breakpoint
crew.
is
It's like the bare minimum each of you as need to kind of like keep your life as it is right now. Not including the amount it takes for your gear. Essentially your survival needs.
okay.
So I just gonna add.
Fuck, gear's expensive.
Yeah, it is. Can people on their sheets read off for me what their maintenance is? That will be found. It
Sick.
can be found on your character sheet at the character sheet section, just above where it says break in your humanity threats. It's essentially the
4.
cost that it
3.
takes to maintain your equipment. So I heard
7.
a 4, I heard a 3. So I got 4. I heard a 3.
7.
7.
7.
Oof.
4. Chancers was 6.
But I think it's. I'm looking at it and I don't know how it could be possibly 6. Does it take into account the backpack?
No, backpack counts as your breakpoint. Pretty sure. Let me see your equipment.
Okay.
I think.
Well, if it takes into account the backpack or the rations, then yeah, I can see how it could be 6. But yeah, so because it's 5, but then if I add the backpack, it'd be 6. So that makes sense. But if survival is the rations, then yeah.
1, 2,
So never mind, it's 6.
Okay.
I was just
Alright.
confused. So don't worry.
Okay, so your overall crew upkeep is 24 then. Okay then.
So more than we can make. Double it, in fact.
But with negotiations, you might come on top with this still.
And we can go out and scavenge stuff to get more.
This is why
So,
we had left King. However,
with
King
this-
just burped.
Oh, okay. Is
So-
trees burped?
Yeah, tree burp
I-
quickly. I need to get dinner.
So
Oh,
while
okay.
they're going to get dinner, I need to very quickly know because I didn't hear it.
Mhm.
What's the job that we signed up for?
Yeah.
You don't know. You have to meet with them first.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
I thought there was like an explanation that Bree was given. I was like, was there? I don't. What?
Yeah, I
Uh,
was given a brief one.
Yeah, it's so the exact nature of the job. You don't know exactly
Okay.
what the MATLAB's going to do, but overall, what people are thinking that it is that a bunch of self-proclaimed bankers of the loss, essentially just a lot of loan sharks, want to change printed documentation, like large form, like heavy set proof of life documents, and make it an exchange for that for an actual like printed bounty card that
Okay.
person. So it's like easier to fit in your pocket and stuff like that, right?
All right.
So for that they need laminators. So the MATLAB wants to get a team to go to an abandoned DMV office to get laminators.
Okay.
That is the base nature of it, or at least what people are thinking it is. Now, MATLAB might add stipulations or anything when you guys talk to MATLAB, but that is overall the basics of the job.
Hello, hi. Sorry, I'm back.
Okay, that's fine. Back just in time. So we'll move on to the next stage. You guys know where MATLAB is. You know how to get into contact with them, because of course they want takers to be able to get into contact with them. And she is actually in the enclave you guys are in at the moment. So here is where we get into negotiations. First things first, you guys set who you guys want your negotiator to be.
Points at King.
Okay.
Yeah, who had the like super high charisma?
Yeah.
Guns at everyone.
So you guys are setting King as your negotiator. So King is the one that's going to be in the room. Everyone else is outside the room, but that doesn't mean that you're out of the running yet. You guys can still do a lot of shit called scams. So we will go through this as it would normally go through. And so with that, King, I need you to roll your leadership as you are kind of ushered to where MATLAB is currently kind of staying at the moment.
Oh, speaking of crits,
Oh.
you're very, very quiet, Tree.
Oh, sorry. I had to put my thing. This is better. Is this better?
Yeah, that's
E.
better.
Okay. That and +2, so 11.
Okay, it is a natural crit. So let me just make sure if it's a crit success or a crit fail. It's 9 is an odd number. That is a crit fail, unfortunately.
Oh
no.
That's so sad.
Hey, buddy, if you have will,
Hey, but
Looks at my
If you-
will.
If you have a will, you can spend it to turn that into a normal failure. Unfortunately, with negotiations,
No,
you
I'm-
can't use
I'm-
references.
Put in. Hello.
Tree?
Yeah.
I don't think Tree heard what you said.
Okay.
Yeah. I got.
So with will, you can turn that crit failure into a regular failure.
Okay. Would that be better?
Yes.
Okay. I still heard the word
Um,
failure, and I was like,
Well, a crit
Okay.
fail is much worse than a regular failure.
It's a super
Oh, okay.
failure.
You can take it if you want to save that will, because that will could save your life. Or you can take the crit fail. Either way, it's not gonna like kill you or anything like that. At least in this case. But essentially, it's overall your presence as you're kind of moving throughout this place. Your kind of first impressions with MATLAB is what's crit failing right now.
Oh, just my first impressions.
It will set at the bottom of the screen. There is a tracker here. I'll move your character token here, actually, because you are the
Okay.
negotiator.
Um,
So whenever negotiations are started, you as the taker team always start at buyer's market, which is the base equilibrium price that you guys are coming to negotiate for.
Okay.
If you crit fail,
Mm-hmm.
that means that when your first impressions, that means you either do something or you act in a certain way that puts off or insults the person you're trying to negotiate with, and that will set the starting of your negotiations. You will start, instead of being at buyer's market, you will start it as a favor,
Cool.
Okay.
which
That doesn't
is
sound too bad, right?
which will, in terms of as a favor, it does mean, and if you want to follow along with it as well, there's one of the pages of the negotiation cheat sheet, I believe. But essentially that means that the price is reduced to only one of the dice that were used to calculate the price itself. In this case, the price will be 10 bounty instead of 5 if you are at that stage when negotiations are over.
It was 15 bounty before, right? Did we lose 5 bounty along the way?
If you take the crit fail, if you start it as a favor and your negotiations end and your crew, your negotiator is at the as a favor spot, the
Yeah.
price goes down to the demand price only, not the equilibrium price. The
Oof.
demand price for the job is
Fucking
10.
rip.
Now, this isn't setting what the negotiation is. There's a lot more to the negotiation. You guys move
Okay.
along the scale at the bottom, but this is where you'll start at instead if you take that crit fail.
Oh, that's fine. Maybe I can just use my charming, smooth ways to.
Yeah, and your
to-
team can help you out too.
Yeah.
How do we help
team.
you out?
We'll get there.
Yeah,
But-
I'll take this because I gotta save that one for an important time, I think.
All right. So you're trying to move in, and you're trying to do like your usual kind of like moving into a party sort of thing. Maybe you're a bit nervous, or you just need, you're just that like friendly with people. But one way or another, it's not exactly appreciated by MATLAB, who I will reveal as you're finally kind of led to where the room that she is in.
Mhm.
If I can quickly actually press this goddamn button.
I believe in you.
Looks like-
Don't give up on your
It should be
dreams.
on the bottom area there.
Oh, hello.
When negotiations start, the client who's hiring you starts off at expenses, which is good for you guys, essentially. So how it works is as negotiations go on, with actions and successes on different skills, you guys will move along this counter here. You are trying to move your counter up or to the right. They are trying to always move to the left. When you guys meet, negotiations become a little bit harder, not like contextually, but essentially you guys are pushing up against each other. So you are always trying to move the client back to their side as far as possible, and they're always trying to move you down to your side as far as possible.
Yeah.
And that's where a price is then set about. Okay?
Come on, King. Imagine your Jinx is
So
the
you're
bottom
ushered
arm.
into this room, and MATLAB immediately kind of has like this kind of distasteful look on her face, as like you've been like asking questions throughout the to like the person that was leading you here and all that.
Yeah.
And she kind of starts out with she will start out actually, because before I actually get into that, another thing about the first leadership check, it also sets who talks first.
Okay.
It gets a bit complicated from there, because that gets into like actual strategy of the game. But for the most part, it just sets who goes first when it comes to talk. Introductions are done as MATLAB kind of looks you over a few times and is like, so you're the taker, you're the negotiator for the crew that is going to be hopefully working with us.
Yep, that's me. King holds her hand out to shake. Nice, firm handshake if she takes it.
Of course, MATLAB will take it with like a kind of strained sort of smile. Before sitting back down kind of where she was. And not kicking her feet up, but like relaxing slightly.
Alright.
And she kind of goes, well, you know the price. And with that, she has set it so that you start off negotiations first.
Fair's kind.
So, what you can do for your first roll is negotiations are for the negotiator is usually persuasion, unless there are other things that the negotiator wants to do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find where my thing has gone here. Yep. So everything is measured in sway. Rolling a persuasion
Sway.
gives you a sway, which moves you up the ladder.
Okay, so do I roll for persuasion?
Yep. Roll your persuasion skill.
Oof.
Why is my roll so shit?
It's okay. It's okay.
+1.
So how this will work is because there is some talking involved with it as well.
Yeah.
So say what King would say to as like their opening to this negotiation, and then we'll take the roll that was done.
So just so I know, just to clarify, King knows that the bounty starts at 10?
15.
15. Okay. And I'm just trying to push the price up.
Yep.
Okay. King's like, well, they put their arms on the table like a class together and trying to be all business-like, but it's probably failing because they look like a child. And like and and they're a little bit nervous because this is their first time doing all of this. So they clear their throat and like and suggest, how about this mission is quite dangerous, as you know, and we're risking our lives out here. Don't you think 15 is a little bit too low? Looks at her, smiles nervously.
Okay. And then after that point, after you said what you're gonna say, then you would make your roll. We'll take the roll that you just did,
Oh, okay.
which unfortunately is a failure. So she doesn't look very kind of convinced, but
Yeah.
she matches your smile slightly. It's still a bit strained, but it's like a slight bit wider now. As she just like nods her head and is like, okay. And she will take her action just to read you, or read you as it were. With that ends the first round of negotiations, and we get into the in-between game where the rest of your team comes into play. The rest of King's team, the rest of the Bay Brigade. In between negotiation rounds, you guys can do something called scams. Now, scams allow you to help the negotiation that is happening in progress. It takes place. It's almost like kind of like a Ocean's 11 kind of flashback scene, almost something you did prior to the negotiation to kind of set up for King for success during the negotiations. You have some multiple things you guys can do. You can sabotage any potential competition that you figured out was going to be looking for this job in the before negotiations phase. You can gather intelligence to figure out one of MATLAB's spots, because just like how you guys as players have spots, other characters in the world have spots too. Things that tick them off or things they have a soft spot for. Figuring those out and letting your negotiator know what they are, if they're then able to work that soft spot or weak spot into one of their persuasion rules to what they say during the explaining what they say and stuff to the client, they will get an additional sway on top of whether they succeed the roll or not. Or you can do partners in crime. Partners in crime allows you to essentially figure out some way to get someone else into the room and negotiating alongside with King. Now, you guys don't negotiate at the exact same time. It's kind of, but you're able to then kind of tag in. So one person is always leading and rolling the negotiation, but it lets you use, someone else's skills a bit when you need to tag in to do something different.
Good cop, bad cop.
Now that we got through kind of the first phase of it, I'll also go into a little bit of what can actually be done role wise. Your main bread and butter is always going to be your persuasion to move to the sway, but there are some other things you can do. During negotiations, you can roll a sensitivity to find out someone's weak spot or soft spot just in the room, but you won't be gaining sway. You can use deception to lie about your guys' potential, you guys' potential as a team. Or if you were going second, if you were the one that got to choose and you chose MATLAB to go first, you could then defend against someone trying to use soft spots against you, or weak spots or anything like that. And then, of course, your leadership skill is used for the beginning and the end. So with all of that, who would like to try and use a scam?
It's more important that we ask, do we want to do the, because if we put someone in there, no one else can do anything, correct?
Only one person per in-between round can do something.
Who hasn't done anything yet? Simcard, do you want to do something?
Yeah, maybe you could do some research into the other competitors, or if there's a way to find out their soft spot or such.
You're muted.
Fuck, I was talking. I wouldn't
There it
use
is.
research. That's such a strong word. I'd say more about my awareness, using my eyes and my ears and my powerful nostrils to search things
Powerful
out.
knowledge. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. Roll it.
All right.
Now, every character gets one action when it comes to overall the negotiation phase, but only one person can take an action in the in-between phase. So once you're using this,
Oh, I did that wrong.
Simcard is unable to do another one. So succeed or fail. This is how this will work essentially.
So
What's
that's,
your using your awareness, right?
Yep. So that is. I'm pretty sure I beat it by 1. Yeah, I beat it by 1 because I have 8. So 3 plus
Well,
5.
Okay, so close, but yeah, you're able to. So you're
Yay.
keeping an ear out. You're listening out for what people are saying about MATLAB, and as you're kind of like keeping your ears and your nose to the ground.
Oh, okay. That's how I do it correctly. Okay.
As you're doing that, you do overhear some people talking. Some of the people that are kind of associated with her, and you are able to kind of overhear these people as one of them kind of starts going into it with honestly, we should just do this job ourselves, really. And the other person kind of hushes them up and is like, MATLAB wants this done cleanly as possible. You know how she is with everything. Thinks she's better than most of the people here. Well, she doesn't like bloodshed. Can't stop her for that. With that, as you're kind of listening to the rest of the conversation, you are able to get MATLAB's soft spot. Her soft spot is called All Money is Blood Money. Essentially, MATLAB doesn't approve of a lot of things that the loan sharks, or as they are now calling themselves, the bank, does. She doesn't enjoy the hustling side of things. Doesn't enjoy the fact that you break a few kneecaps here and there. She doesn't want that in her and how she wants things to run. That's not how the loss is going to be kind of a better place overall. But with the bank being who is in charge of her, she doesn't really have a lot of leeway when it comes to deciding things like that. So that is MATLAB soft spot, which can be used by your negotiator in the next round coming up.
Slurp's weakness.
Slurp's weakness. With that,
Tastes
we'll
like a dislike violence.
With that, we'll move on to the next stage of negotiations, which it comes back to you, Tree, as King is made to go first again.
She keep asking me to go first. So King is told about this information by Simcard.
Yep, beforehand, before you went in there, everyone was around and psyched you up and gave you this. So you have a flashback to this this information that was given. You know that she doesn't like violence.
She doesn't like violence. Okay.
So if you can kind of play that into your persuasion, maybe assure her that I won't tell you how to do it, but if you can play it into your persuasion, then you will get an extra sway when you're using persuasion. Or you can use another tactic. Something else.
Just to clarify, I'm not actually sure what this mission is about, or is she going to tell us?
I think you were gone when I re-explained it.
Okay.
Essentially, the mission is that the loan sharks have kind of formed into a bank, and they want to get DMV card laminators,
What are
so that they can
those?
make their own bounty. Those are the things that make like your cards, like your driver's license card and all that stuff. Those are the
so-
things that print that sort of thing
So they want to make money, and what does she want us to do?
to get those laminators.
Oh, okay. Okay, so she wants to get those.
Mhm.
So,
There is an abandoned DMV that she wants a Taker team to go and get laminators from it.
okay. So, it doesn't seem like it's going all too well. Like, even King can tell that her smile is just being very polite and friendly. And in that moment, they get a flashback about what Sipcard says to them, and they're like, and they take a different approach. And King sighs, look, to be honest, like, you know why most people become takers? Because we're all desperate here to basically survive in this world, and I'm not the only one. Like, and I'm not only doing this for myself. They're not really family, but I guess you could call them my family now. And you've seen the rest of my team, hopefully, and we're not we might not be the scariest or toughest bunch of takers you've seen, but we're quite stealthy. You've seen that small girl, you know, we can't fight or anything, but if you want us to get these DMV laminators,
Yep.
If you want us to get these DMV laminators, we're the best for the job for doing it quietly and stealthily. Like, we don't like to make a mess of things. And so, what do you say to that?
Okay, roll your persuasion.
Roll. What? The plus one.
Now, also, I
Honestly.
forgot to move stuff. Last time she didn't move and you failed this way.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
fine. Everything's fine so far. Now, while that roll did fail, because you did use her weak spot, her soft spot against her, you will still get a sway for it anyway. So you do move back up to Buyer's Market.
Oh my god, yay. Thank you, Simcard.
With that, she nods again as she, her smile kind of gets like a bit like softer, a bit like more genuine, and she kind of like nods and thinks it over, and then she looks at you again and kind of motions for you to continue as she takes another turn to read you. That's going to be the end of the second round of negotiations. Now, usually when it comes to negotiations, there's a set amount of rounds.
Okay.
Because of the failure for the leadership, you don't know how many rounds there are until you're out of time to negotiate. But don't worry about that so far. So with that, it's back to the rest of your group. Simcard has already used his scam, so it's between 807, Nutcracker, or Jinx to come up with another scam or another scam action to do to affect this job.
Nutcracker, you want to take this one?
Thing is, I don't have much to like investigate or things like that. I have one in awareness, I think.
Remember, you can use any skill you want as long as you can make an argument for it.
Could I use a would I be able to use a sensitivity to kind of get a read on the other, the weak spot or something?
To look for a spot? Yeah, sure. Roll sensitivity. Do you have sensitivity, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you can roll your sensitivity. And if you succeed, you'll get something. Oof.
It's alright. I've been there.
Okay, so you don't succeed. You try to like kind of read some of the people that are kind of working with MATLAB and some other people that are around, but you're not able to get anything off of them, unfortunately. With that, your scam is done, and we go back to the negotiation phase. Tree, you are still in the lead. You get to start.
Okay. I don't know what else I'm gonna say about this.
If you can't think of anything to say, I will just allow you to roll a straight kind of persuasion if you want.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you.
If you've
You are
exhausted
quiet
sort of what
being
you want.
again.
Pardon?
Quiet. You're a bit quiet.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm like eating at the same time, so I keep moving my mic. Yeah, I'll just roll.
Yep, go for it.
Are you serious?
Yikes. Roll 20 is being kind of a bitch today.
Yeah.
It's okay. You don't gain a sway, but you don't lose yourself or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
So it's at this point then that MATLAB finally stops kind of relaxing. Stops kind of like holding this her smile up as much as she was, and stops kind of like examining you. And she goes, "Well, you've made some points here and there, and I have to admit, some of them do seem well-based, and even helpful in my case, at least. But you're right, I do know some of the people in your crew. I do know some things about you. Particularly, well, King. I understand that from what I've heard here and there, that perhaps, well, you are new to this job. It's quite cutthroat, sure. It is dangerous out there. I just need to ensure that for me and the people that employ me, that I have the right team for the job. And I do understand that you have a heart, and it's not a bad thing. But how can I be assured that if someone else comes along with some story about how they need the laminators more, that you won't just give in and let them have it? With that, she's using your soft spot against you.
Gasps.
And she will move down 2 spaces, down from expenses to hazard pay, because she used a spot from you.
A soft spot.
With that, we move to, once again, our next round for scams. It is between 807 and Jinx.
Jinx, you want it, or do you want me to take it?
Up to you.
Let me see what I got that I could use. Could I use a stealth to try and overhear potentially useful information?
On MATLAB?
Mm.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Roll your stealth.
Cool. That's gonna be
Nice.
a 11 versus 5.
All right then. With that, you are able to sneak around a bit. Kind of dig into a few things here and there. And you are able to kind of get a few information. That's not right, Grant. That's not the right way to say that. You are able to obtain information. And as you're kind of sneaking around and looking through and just kind of keeping low to the ground, you are able to understand a few things here and there. A lot of the people that are working with MATLAB right now are very agitated. Not in the, I can't remember, for lack of a better term, I'll say agitated. I can't remember the actual word for it. But they're not angry at anything in particular.
They're just jazzed about life in an angry sense. Passion.
They're just kind of getting a bit stir crazy. They've been here for a while, and you're able to understand that, like, MATLAB, because there are no other because at the moment that there are no other takers here, they've been kind of waiting on this job for a little while here. And every one of MATLAB's crew is starting to like get a bit like antsy about if the stuff is even going to be there by the time someone takes this job. With that, you do learn MATLAB's tough spot, which is called first to market. Essentially, there is no evidence or clear sign that no one else is going to do this job first. Loan sharks aren't, while they have the same name, they aren't really beholden to each other. And if what is said about this job is true, those laminators are just sitting there. At any point, someone else, whether it's someone random or someone else looking for laminators in particular, could take it. So MATLAB's in kind of a tough spot to try and kind of find someone to do this job.
Happy birthday,
Okay.
King. Here's the bullet point version of that.
So with that, you have another one of her spots that you can use, and we'll get to that new spot, or to that time with, once again, you are up, Tree.
You said that was her tough spot?
That's her tough spot.
The-
You guys can use soft spots, weak spots, or tough spots off the client.
I thought tough spots was like their class.
yeah.
For you guys, it's class. For clients, it's something different. It's
Oh.
essentially their disposition and their kind of edge when it comes to the mission at hand that
Okay.
they're giving you.
Okay.
So basically, she doesn't have enough, like, much time to
She's
find someone.
she's afraid that
We're-
someone is gonna get these laminators, so she needs someone to get them.
We're doing her a favor.
Okay. So, hearing their weakness used against them, King panics for a bit until they remember what 807 807 told them earlier before coming in, and she relaxes a bit, kind of just leans in again forward and tries to be a bit more relaxed, kind of bluffing a little bit, and is like, so I have a heart. What's so bad about that? Do you really have the time to be picky right now? How many takers are really up for this job? Question mark. Looks at her.
Okay. Roll your persuasion.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I've like failed every roll I've done.
Well, that's okay. You still use the sway, so you will move up to at value.
Yes!
At
Go,
least.
girl, you got this. We got you.
Thank you, scams and stuffs.
With that, MATLAB will nod. And say, you're right. I have been a bit on edge about getting this job done. But I also still need to ensure that this job is done right. And I believe in your crew you do have a friend who, while you may not be the most experienced and potentially will be the quietest when this job is through. There's some bounds when it comes to the reputation of a few members of your crew, specifically the one that is called Nutcracker. Now, I am sure someone doesn't get that name just because I would rather that such... I mean, I can be assured it won't be a problem. They won't be. Will they?
Have
And with
you
that-
s-
Mm.
Looks
And with
at
that,
you.
using another another one of your crew's weak spots.
Oh, okay.
Now, she will go down. She only has 2 sway, and because that would leave her on the same spot as yours, she needs more sway to push you down than what she currently has. So she will only go
Okay.
down to labor. So you guys are what is called heads up right now.
Ooh.
With that, we'll go on to the last person in your crew. Jinx, do you have a scam you would like to try?
Okay, so like we've already got her weak spot, her soft spot, and her tough spot.
You've got
Can
her.
I do-
You've got her her soft spot and her tough spot. You have not gotten her weak spot.
Can I use my let's see, what skills do I... Could I use my scavenging to go through her trash and figure out what she is weak with? Any letters or anything?
Sure.
That is the
Roll your
best sentence
scavenging.
I've ever heard. I went through your trash. I figured out your week.
Sure thing.
Oh, thank God!
Oh my God, that's so
Vegan.
good.
Oh
Oh,
my
that
god.
was close. That was really close.
You're so good.
Oh.
Okay. So you do look around in MATLAB's trash. And you are able to find some notes that she's thrown out recently. It's a dirty work, but you do find kind of like a notebook, like a discarded kind of notebook. It's half like wrecked, but there are some notes that are still available. Some things that she seems to have written down of clients that she's met with before, other taker groups or other people that you just don't know about. And one of the things that she does note down, that doesn't seem to at first kind of have any real correlation, but she does seem to take note of who seems ready or not to do a job. Not in the terms of like actual readiness, but as in terms of like people that are kind of like do it themselves kind of workers, people that aren't afraid to get dirty to do their job, aren't willing to just kind of have someone else do things that they could do themselves. With that, you do learn her weak spot is called dirt under her nails. And MATLAB admires and respects people who get physically involved in the work that they do, and abhor people that aren't willing to do such things.
Alright, I'm going to relay this to King and pick off the banana peel on my hair.
Yeah. that, we'll move on to.
Yeah, so basically what I just did, she respects.
They'd respect that.
Alright, give me a second, my mom's calling me.
Go for it.
Wait. Can I just clarify
Mhm.
her weak spot?
Her weak spot's called dirt under their nails.
Yeah.
Essentially, she likes people that do work themselves and are willing to get dirty for their work. / not people that send others to do their work for them.
Okay. So they respect people
Who get their hands dirty.
Yeah.
Who go dumpster diving for intel.
Not people that sit behind a desk and give out orders, sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
She
People
likes
that are
doers,
willing-
not managers.
Yeah, doers.
God, I would love to tell her how dirty Jinx got just to find out more info about her.
Hey, if you can find whatever way you want to try and work in her weak spot.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, King gets another flashback from a dear good party friend, Jinx, and sighs a bit and is like, alright, so maybe you know some things about my crewmates, but you don't know everything about my crewmates. Did you know that we have several people here, namely Jinx? If you know her, she's not afraid to get down and dirty and figure things out herself, whether that be going through your trash and finding out more info about you. It's not just her. I've also got Simp Card, who uses his nose to sniff people out.
I was really hoping you'd bring up the fact that Simcard can smell out a good deal a mile away.
That's why they call me Simp Card. My nose takes me to the money.
I have Simcard
Okay.
whose nose can respect women.
Like,
Oh,
you may be,
whenever
you
you
may
want.
be, you may be worried about how Nutcracker got her name, but how do you think Simp Card got his name? Ooh.
Roll your persuasion. That was good. That was good.
I'll have you know I'm working with a verified simp.
Ooh.
That's a critical success!
Oh, yay!
That's a critical succce!
Oh
You know,
my
honestly,
God.
that persuasion deserved it.
Yeah, I did.
Did you know
Pray
Simp
your
Card can
hands.
smell it on my woman?
Oh boy. Okay. All right then.
Who looks at her full of confidence about their own teammates.
Yeah, get her, King, get her!
Yeah, that confidence is definitely showing.
King, I've known these teammates for like 3 minutes, but I have full faith in them.
Listen, fake it till you make it.
That's it. That's how we live this life.
That's how it works. Yeah. Okay. Just give me 1 second. I have to double check what I can give you for a crit success on this.
Oh, nice.
Please give us spaces back.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
kidding.
Please.
Maybe we can push her back.
It's a
Push her back.
it's a slow start, but you revved it up.
Nice.
Let me just find it. I definitely wrote it down. I'm quite sure I did.
You write things?
Oh yeah.
What?
Am I
Oh
not
my god, I
supposed to?
thought that people didn't do that anymore. I thought we moved on past
God.
the ancient texts.
Oh man. I should get with the times then. Sorry.
It's okay, I still take handwritten notes for all my D&D stuff.
That's the leadership role. That's not the actual negotiation role. You know what? Instead of wasting time with that, I'll just give you 3. instead of just the two.
Yes!
Yes!
Get her, King! Get her!
Good job, guys. This is all I do. We couldn't have done it without you.
So with that, there's the 1 to move into the square, another one to push her back. I think if I can double check, I can't remember if 3 is enough
Push.
from heads up to push again, but I will quickly double check here. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. That actually is enough to push again.
Yes! Get her, King! Get her! No!
Yeah!
Okay. All right. With that, she'll nod, and it's not looking at you as if she's talking to a child now.
I can't believe fucking SIM card got it. Thank you. Thank
And
you.
she actually has a genuine smile on her face, and she goes, "Okay, all right then."
She respects Sims.
Well, since you are a relatively new crew, then, but I am liking you so far. I'll take a gamble on you and your team, sure. I'll even give you something to help. I have some connections here and there, of course. I will give them to you to use for free. If they require any sort of payment, I'll handle that. Or if you have people of your own that you would rather use, I will handle the payment for that as well. On a condition, but also a boon to you as well. I have a B-mail drone. I'm sure it can definitely help with moving any laminators you would find. If you're willing to use that, then I'll help you out. Essentially, what has now happened is whenever, at any point in time, a client can give what is called a gift spot.
Gift spot.
Now, a gift spot does give them a sway, so it will move you back down to labor and them to hazard pay. But it is an extra thing. Her gift spot is called Reference and Refresh. Essentially, for this mission, you will get 2 free reference calls to use and 1 free refresh. But only as long as you guys are willing to use a B-mail drone, which will carry the laminators when you guys find them. MATLAB will warn you that the drone is loud.
Oh.
So when it is used, it will generate a mob of casualties. But that is now at your disposal. With that, that is the end of negotiations. To end off negotiations, we need to decide whose offer wins out, what's payment wins out between you and MATLAB. To decide that, you end off with a leadership role.
Oh god. Okay. My leadership is 2. Okay. And I
You
just
can
roll.
invoke the name of SIM card. Okay, didn't invoke the name of SIM card.
Unfortunately. So unfortunately, it failed. Oh, don't worry. Unfortunately, it failed. But you don't get pushed back or anything.
Yeah.
Essentially, MATLAB just comes down to your level. So you will be getting this job at labor.
Okay.
I will quickly go and I'll do the math. I'll calculate what the job will get you essentially. But what that means is black dice is 5. Black plus red.
No, that was a misclick.
Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, again?
So with labor, you are going to get the 15 bounty. But
Okay.
MATLAB will pay for your living expenses for this week.
Oh.
Ooh.
And that is for everyone that is in the crew.
What's our living expenses?
That would be your break point. So as a crew, I already have that calculated. As a crew, your guys' break point is, if I have it here, 19 bounty.
Oh, okay. That's quite a lot.
So you don't have to worry about your dependents. You don't have to worry about your food. You don't have to worry about your essentials. MATLAB is taking
Nice.
care of that.
Wow,
So that is a
thank
part of the
you.
payment.
Sugar mama.
That's one way to see it.
Yeah, you would say that.
Hey. They call me the simple variable one paying me.
So with that, the total bounty of this job is essentially 34 bounty. Overall with your expenses paid and everything. Now, unfortunately, with paying your upkeep, that does mean that you guys are operating at a loss of 9 bounty. Essentially, that means each taker would lose 2 bounty, with 4 left over to be lost amongst yourselves as you wish. But that does not mean that you are just taking that. Of course, you don't get paid until the job's over, and even then, during the job, you guys can look out for opportunities to get more bounty. So it can still become a net positive doing the job. You just have to keep an eye out for opportunities. Whether that is you guys want to add an extra event to your job to go and look for supplies and stuff to sell, or you guys want to take a bit more dangerous kind of routes to try and scavenge for stuff, it's up to you. But this is your negotiation. This is what the price that is negotiated.
Awesome. Well, it's better than where we started. A lot better than where we
I think
started.
Definitely
anything
better
is
when you
better than where
started.
we started.
Yeah, opening up on a crit fail.
Good job, guys.
So with that, King, you can go. You give your team the good news. With this, at this point, I am going to ask where we are at in terms of time-wise. We are still kind of under when I said we were going to end. I said like 3-4 hour area, so we do have an extra hour left to go.
Yeah.
But just making sure everyone's okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm good for like 2-ish hours.
2-ish hours.
I can go for another hour. Or
Same.
2. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know about 2, maybe like an hour and a half, but
Yeah.
Okay,
I can
so-
go for that.
Okay, so then I will ask then. We can get right into the mission, but I will then have to skip one of the things that you're supposed to do prior to mission, which is vignettes. Essentially, you get a scene with your one of your dependents, and it's like a very kind of quick kind of role play. Whether it's a problem you need to solve for them, just you want to spend time with them, or you want to engage and add something to your home of Telluride as the role play wise.
We're not getting the real experience unless we experience everything, Joel.
I leave it to you guys.
It may take the last hour, but that way next time we play it'll be split up
You're
the
right
home
into the-
actions versus the outside actions, I guess.
Okay then. So you guys come together. King, you let them know the amount you're gonna get.
Yay.
You guys can all calculate it up. You understand that you're operating at a loss, but there are opportunities out there always in the loss. And with that, you guys kind of can break away from each other and go on to your own lives. Who would like to go first for a vignette?
I nominate Bree. She sounds dead.
What? Well, I guess I got nominated.
Okay. So when it comes to a vignette, of course, you interact with one of your dependents. You only have the one dependent, so that's easy. That's easy to figure out. Now, the only other thing to figure out is what type of interaction you want. There are, if I can. Where is it? Oh, this is the wrong sheet. I'm sorry, my notes. Minutes. Minutes. Alright, so there is Cope, which essentially you have an interaction with one of your dependents, and they kind of help you kind of either get through something, or you just have a nice little interaction, and I, as the market, get to be a little bitch and do some fucked up things in the back, or add some issues for you during the dependent talk that you have to deal with during the talk in a manageable way, or however you would take it. Now, of course, deeper into it, like a campaign or an extra thing, if you had like humanity damage or regrets or something like that, I'd play off of that. But it'll be a bit more low to the ground since you're not insane or anything yet.
Right.
The other theme is support. That is that you choose essentially that your dependent is having trouble in some way or some form. They need help with something in that moment, and you are going to go and you're going to help them with whatever it is. And then once that situation is solved, that's the end of the vignette, essentially. Once you kind of figure out what you want to do and how to do it, it usually kind of requires a roll or something to help them figure out their problem. But once you figure out the problem and it's all set in stone, you're good. So Port has the added trouble of if you're unable to help them with their problem, you might take some humanity damage. The last theme is engage, where you and your dependent kind of set up a bit of the world around you. It's a bit more improv-y. You can add on to the town of Telluride, whether it is that you kind of start to describe that you and your dependent go to like a roller derby that wasn't specified, that was in the town before. Well, now that you specified that there's a roller derby in Telluride, there's a roller derby in Telluride. If there is a certain day where everyone gets together to have a huge party together, and that wasn't specified in the history that was already established of the city, there is now a day of the month that everyone gets together to have a huge party. You essentially, again, you establish some of the setting around you here.
Okay.
With that, yeah, what would you like to do?
With the support, do I determine what I'm helping them with?
You do not.
Oh, okay.
Your dependent determines what you're helping them with.
Okay. And what was the first one is basically something's going on in the background.
Yes, you need to cope with something that's happening.
Okay, let's go with that.
Okay. Sure thing.
Because I just had
So-
a stressful day, and I met my
You're
and that's even more stressful because, oh god.
you met your companions, and that was a time, and then you get back the knowledge that like this job is going to be at a loss if you can't find stuff in the world. It's definitely stressful. So here comes the kicker, because dependents, of course, are played by other players first and me last. So, who would like to play? First off, actually, before we get into that, Bree, would you like to describe your dependent?
Okay, 807's dependent is Argyle. He's an old scavenger that back during when the town was retaken over from the raiders, he gave 807 an alibi. Well, she was out during the raid. She was part of the raider faction, though it was less known, so he gave her an alibi when she returned, so that she would not be executed with the others. And since then, he's one of the few people that she actually really talks to. He knows her alliance. There's nothing much she could do on that. He's got dirt on her. Not that he seems to be interested in using it, and in return, just when she can, she helps him with medical things and like that, since he's an older man, and so he's not in the best of health. Jazz hands.
Okay.
I love that finish.
Who would like to play Argyle?
I'll play.
Okay.
All right, then. Just give me 1 second. Okay. All right, then. So, actually, I'm gonna move because there's noise happening in my background.
No worries.
No worries.
These things happen.
Very sorry about that. All right, so 807. You just met your team. Things weren't the best for first meeting. People were late. There was an axe in a table. Attention was drawn to you. So let's say you go back home. You recluse back to one of the sections of Telluride that's for latents. It's not fully segregated, but it's essentially the place where latents go. And with that, you kind of move into your room, your home there. You try to start to relax, and there's a knock at your door, and it's Argyle. He knocks in a specific way.
The only way to knock in which to get her to open the door.
Yep, exactly.
She's just laying on whatever couch-ish thing she is, just slowly turns over. Goes, opens door.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep me waiting here all morning.
I was thinking about it. What are you doing?
And does he smile and says, I heard you went looking for a job today. Wanted to know how it went. He says, that great, huh?
Not great. They're... Blinks a couple times. They're useless.
He kind of seems to think about it and nods slowly and says, and Alessa will be expecting to see you tomorrow here.
We're heading out. When are we out of character? What time are we heading out? Like morning, night?
Morning tomorrow.
We're leaving come morning, so I'll probably be gone. Do you need your medication before then?
He kind of waves a hand. Frank goes, oh, don't need to worry about that. I can handle that.
Nods. She kind of looks around. She says, I haven't cleaned the house. Probably best not to come in.
He kind of pays over your shoulder for a second and says, well, can I get a breath of fresh air?
No air's fresh here, Argyle.
Not your room, apparently.
Oof.
She steps away from the door so he can come in. Shuffles over in like oversized like shirt and slippers.
Oh.
Goes over to
And,
the biohazard stuff, puts on gloves, puts on mask.
Oh. As you're getting ready, he just kind of looks out the window at everything and says, "Gonna be okay out there?"
I'm not worried. It hasn't changed much since I was out there before.
I guess I'll have to do the worrying for you.
I wouldn't waste your energy. She kind
Someone's got to check up on you, kiddo.
of looks over. How dare you? The fear of being known. Damn you. She does give a weary smile.
Aww.
With this, I will come in as the market to be a little bitch. So hey, you as you're having this nice talk with Argyle, and you kind of smile, like someone's got to watch out for you. It makes you think of the people you were before, whether you want to think about them or not. And like the start of this day, where you did ask for a potentially dangerous mission out there. With that, I need you to roll a self-control.
All right.
Your thoughts kind of start to wander towards the old group you were with, the raiders that took this place originally, and you start to kind of wonder.
Oh shit.
10, not 100.
Right. Ah, all right. Well, you don't just start to wonder; you start to slightly panic a bit because it's just like, man, they were much better than some people here. They didn't like bother me and stuff, and everything was kind of cool and day fair, and they were cool, I guess, and they kind of looked out for me, I guess. And those thoughts start quickly spiraling into, I wonder what they think by the fact that I'm still here and they're not. I wonder what they do if they see me again. Oh God, that might be pretty bad. I know a few things that those people do to people that kind of are seen as traitors, and they don't ask questions first. They kill first. Oh, that's kind of shitty. Oh wait, I'm going out with a crew from this town. Shit. If they find someone that recognizes me, what the fuck is that gonna mean for my cover? And the things just keep going and spiraling on and on.
So
now you're not like crippled. You're not crippled by it, but it's just like, oh God.
Yeah, it's literally she has this weary smile, and then she leans against the wall and slides down into a sit, and draws her legs up to her, and just puts her face just feetles up.
Oh God. He sees that and he slowly lumbers over, and then he kind of leans on the wall next to you and says, "Sorry, bad knees."
I'm going to die again.
He says, I know you're good out there, 807. You'll make it back.
Doesn't matter how good I am. They lumber around and yell and make themselves known. One of them, her name is Jinx. She threw her axe in a table, and it made so much noise, and the entire bar looked at us. She has not a single subtle bone in her fleshy body, and she's going to make so much noise. And if we go out there, Argyle, if we go out there and she makes that much noise, I don't care if she alerts the casualties. That's a her problem, not a me problem. But if she alerts the raiders and the raiders see me, they're gonna see me and think, oh, that's 807. That's 807. Why is she there with those fleshy people? Why is she there with those townsfolk? Is she a traitor? Is she terrible? Can we not trust her? We should shoot her. And then they're going to shoot me, and I'm going to take the fall.
Hey. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8.
It's like evidently I need to take a stress damage. It's just like as he gets closer, it's just like no, don't touch me, you're gonna get infected too, and then we're both gonna die.
Okay, I can't get down there. Bad knees. He says he's still just like leaning on the wall next to you. And he says that's only the worst possible outcome. And it's not like it's just you and her. It's you and an entire team of people. And I'm sure all of you want to come out of this alive.
Right.
If they were going to be that stupid, then they would not even be here right now, I don't think.
She gives you a pitying look. Always too positive, always optimistic. Argyle, for a man so old, you are so blissfully unaware.
And yet,
It's trying to be less pessimistic. There are odds. 8, there are odds.
There are odds. She says, I don't know how you managed to do this for so long. How did you deal? Did you have a group that was competent? Why did you deal with other people? Is it rambling? I'm rambling.
Well, no one can live just by themselves. We all need help. I'm glad you at least talked to me. Hey.
You're the only person I talk to.
And I'm the lucky one.
and I think we'll call scene there.
High fives, Red.
That was
That was so wholesome.
So with that dependent talk, you may heal a column of your humanity damage.
That stress I just gained, she's gone now.
Yeah, that stress you just gained, it's gone now. Argyle helped.
It's like, oh, there's just like a vein throbbing inside of your head. Just like, shh, just like lean over and just like press it back in. Shh, it's okay.
Remember, it's a column, not a row. So I think you've gained 2 stress damage so far, right? So you can get rid of one of them.
Oh, so it didn't help me at all!
No, it helped. It helped.
I'm sorry, Bree. I don't mean to stress you out.
Oh no, out of character, I'm fine.
In character, I'm sorry I stress you out.
It's okay.
Okay. With that, who would like to go next? Actually, I should start with who needs to go the soonest, because I would like everyone to at least get a chance to experience Vignette.
Points a gun at tree.
Or
Okay, I am been shot. So it's me next. Hello.
Yeah. So same process as last time, but because you have more than one dependent, you just have to choose which dependent you want to talk to. This does not mean, of course, that you're neglecting your other 2. You are talking to them still and all that. You still have to pay for them, but it's just you've chosen to have a vignette with one of them.
Imagine always avoiding one of them purposely when it comes to vignettes. So you're solving the other's problems, and the other's like, "Father," and you're like, "Shut up!" Throws food at. Get back under the stairs, Harry Potter.
Jesus Christ.
So there were 3 things that I could choose.
There's things now.
There are 3
No,
people you can choose.
not those people, but I mean like how the vignette goes. So
Also,
like there
Not
was
people now.
Bree's thing
Yes.
with the
So
red
there's-
market doing some shit, and then
So there's cope, which essentially I do some timey-wimey I do some bullshit in the background.
Yeah.
You gotta cope with that, and your dependent helps you.
Okay.
There is support, which is that your dependent needs help with something,
Okay.
and you help them. or there's engage, where you kind of add on to the setting around you, to the town of Tellaride, the Enclave. You can add whatever you need to add narratively, as long as it makes sense. Anything that isn't specified in the description of the town, you can add, essentially.
I'll go with support, and I'll
Okay.
play with the Lily, the 12-year-old dependent.
All right. So describe Lily.
So, how should I? So King met this girl like a couple years ago, like I think after the Raiders had left, and she and her mom didn't really have like a good like life because of the Raider people, and they've lost like their father and her older brother. I guess, yeah, she lost them, right? And so when King heard like about them, like about this little girl, because this little girl like just randomly got attached to her like out of nowhere and just like started following around. And when she heard the story, obviously she felt really sad for this like family. So King kind of acts like the older sibling figure in Lily's life. She was mistaken for like an older brother for before, but now that Lily's older, that she knows like King is a girl, but doesn't matter. King doesn't really care. So yeah, basically, she just goes to see them like often to check up on Lily mostly.
Of course. Okay. Well, with that, who would like to play Lily? The 12-year-old.
12-year-old little girl.
12-year-old baby.
I could do that.
Calm.
Yeah?
Sure.
Okay, then. So, with that, because Tree, you chose support,
Yeah.
that means Cat, as the dependent, Lily, you do have free reign to make whatever sort of problem that you are having that King can help with.
Oh dear.
Again, it doesn't have to be a direct lead up. Like, you can do the whole thing where it's like, hey, King, I need help with something. Or you could just have it be like a bit more
Immediately.
subtle. So, going to be a bit more immediate sort of help, or you can be a bit more subtle in what's going on. But either way, there is a problem that the King will have to deal with / help with.
Got it. Okay. All right, I got one.
You can use whatever you need to use. Anything from the Enclave you can play off of. Again, it's very improv-y, and you get to set the world as you will it.
Okay.
So go for it.
Lily is up in her room, and she is feverishly writing something.
Okay. So I guess King comes back from the little meeting, and then before going to where they're staying at, they decide to stop by like the family's house and have dinner with the family. And the mom tells her that Lily's up in her room, so Lily hears a knock on the door. Lily, I'm back.
I'm busy.
All right. I'll just be downstairs then.
Actually, I need some help.
Busts into the room. What's wrong?
I'm gonna hold up an empty piece of paper. I can't figure out what to write.
You can't. What are you trying to write about?
Well, you see, the school has a short story contest, and I really, really want to win, and I think I can really win, but I can't think of anything. And look at all this. Do you see all this? And I'm gonna point at like the little garbage can and all like the like huge like crumpled up pieces of paper just everywhere.
I see what you're suffering from. This is called a writer's block, but it's all right. I'm here to help. King picks up like a few pieces of crumpled paper on the ground and has a read through of what kind of ideas that Lily had prior to this.
They are great. Quite honestly, she probably shouldn't be entering the contest, but at least she's excited about it.
Alright, so.
Like very stereotypical, like very cringy, like 12-year, like what a 12-year-old would find romantic.
Okay, so like cringy romance stuff.
Yes.
King sits down on her bed, has a read through, nods their head. It's like lies through their teeth. Oh, this ain't so bad, you know, like a romance. I see where you're going with this. And they're like, but you know, what really helps writers write? They write about their own experiences. So, do you have someone you're crushing on at school? Looks at Lily.
Well, no. No.
Anyone you're crushing on at all in the Enclave?
No.
Maybe you might need to take your writing in a different direction from romance. What kind of things do you like?
Romance.
Romance. Okay. King honestly has no idea how to help with romance because they have hardly any experience either. But they sit down and they're like, alright, okay. I guess I can tell you a story about my first crush when I was your age. That might help you write a story about romance.
Her eyes get wide and there's practically sparkles as she turns to look at you.
And so King tells the story of when they were back in their hometown and there was they're 12 and at the playground they met eyes with this boy and he was cute, and because she was so distracted about this guy, she went down the slide and fell and busted her knee, and this guy came over and helped her up, and that's when she knew there were fireworks in the air.
All right, I'm gonna come in here and be a market bitch again.
Nice.
I am going to say that lovely story needs a roll.
Ooh.
and now we'll decide how helpful it is and how well you're able to tell it.
Okay.
Now, you can use any of your. This is a one-on-one. You're not doing a full like group of people or anything like that, or establishing like dominance or anything like that. So leadership won't help, but you can use any of your other roles if you can make a good argument for it. Whether the whole story is a lie or you're embellishing stuff, you can use deception, or you can use persuasion or sensitivity, or even your networking. I will allow.
Let's say deception. Because King is.
Now,
Yeah.
is it a straight up lie story, or?
It's like.
Let me tell
like,
you, this date never went on a date.
they're very like they're heavily embellishing this story, like trying to put on the pinkiest rose-colored glasses they could ever find, and try to make this sound as romantic as they think is possible. But King doesn't really watch romance, so we'll see how this goes.
Okay, so this is your role to try and fix this dependence issue.
So I just roll in and +2.
Yep.
There's something so fucking funny about King being like, I gotta embellish this story, because last time I told it, it was literally I just broke my kneecap and this kid helped me up, and now it's gotta be a love story.
That's basically what's going on.
Amazing.
But I accidentally misclick on the second one. So
Oh, that's
it's the
okay. We'll
first
take
one.
we'll take the first one. We'll take the first one. So that's a 6 over 4.
+2.
Oh, plus
8
2.
over 4.
So that's 8 over 4. So that is definitely a success.
Nice.
you may continue with the knowledge that King tells this embellished story beautifully.
So like after this boy picked up my hand and we met eyes and suddenly the whole world turned pink and there were hearts everywhere. I'm not even making this up. And after this happened, we held hands for a really long time and it was hard. It was warm and made my heart all squishy and our hearts were beating really fast and I could tell he was blushing and that's how you knew it's real love. And after that we went on a date and lived happily ever after. Wow.
She like holds like her cheeks like this little like totally enamored like look at you. Did you kiss?
That's a secret. Winks at her.
That's so romantic. And then I'm gonna start like feverishly writing. I have been inspired.
I'm so happy. Like King is so happy that they're
Her-
at least
Her BS worked.
Yes. Maybe she might not win this little competition thing or whatever it is. But you know what? That's all that matters. She's happy
That's all that
right now.
matters.
Yeah.
That she's inspired.
Yep, basically.
Then we will end the scene there. With that, if you've taken any humanity stress damage, you can get rid of one column of it.
Pardon?
If you've taken any humanity threat damage, so that area on your character sheet which says humanity threats, it
Yeah.
has detachment stress. If you have any boxes in there, you can take away the furthest set of boxes. If you don't have anything in there,
Yep.
then you're fine. You've had a nice good scene with your dependent. Another thing I have to come back to with you, Bree, your reference that you've written down as Rusty.
Mhm.
I need you to set his the box that says needy, and I need you to put a check mark in there.
Okay.
Because you have used that reference, you have to pay them back. This doesn't mean that you owe them money. It could just mean that you need to spend some time with them to reaffirm your friendship or your understanding of each other.
I'll just give him
But-
money.
I mean, either way, pay off your tab. Either way, doesn't matter how narratively you explain the payback. The only thing that really matters is that you owe a bounty to him.
Just pay me some attention.
What am I hearing? All right. With that, who would like to go next?
Hmm.
I want Simcard to go next. I want to see. I want to see
Okay.
the defendant.
So I guess I'll go next then, because I was just
Hey.
nominated.
Okay then.
My dependent is Amelia, who is my wheelchair/crutches bound niece. Because Simpcard, later 30s, niece is probably, early 20s. Maybe a little bit younger.
Well, I already played one, so I don't think I could play another.
I'm sorry, Chance. I'm waiting for the dog.
Tree, would you like to play?
Sure. The wheelchair bound niece, right?
Who has a hobo uncle?
Yeah. If you need to say if you need to hear the description of them again, you can just ask Chance.
Yes, please. How does the niece see her uncle?
That's a good question. I'd imagine they probably see Simpcard in a positive light.
Okay.
So, like, he's there to help them.
Yes.
He's very he tries to be very helpful. I imagine the entire reason he's actually called Simp Card is because of her.
Oh, that's so
Aw.
sweet. Okay. So she's very grateful to this hobo-looking man. Got it.
Okay, so yeah. I guess it's right after the yes, I have work. He's gonna go see Amelia, see how she's doing, if she needs help with anything, that sort of ordeal.
Okay, so this is like the support scene again.
I imagine, yeah.
Okay, let me think. Okay, I got something. So, Amelia's there in the little house, and she's by the kitchen counter staring up at the cupboard and looking very intently at the cupboard, looking very frustrated. Ugh.
Comes in. Hey Amelia, how you doing? Comes over,
I'm-
seeing what they're doing.
Not very well.
I know you already described, but he's
So she turns back, and she's quite happy to see him. You're home finally. I've been waiting for you this whole time.
I know I get busy with some things, but going to be busy a little bit longer. Got a job. Smiles. He comes on in, takes a seat. So, what
A
you been
job?
waiting me for? Oh
Pardon?
yeah. Oh, he said. So, what have you been waiting for me for?
Well, I need some help with getting something from all the way up there. Points at the cupboard at the top shelf.
And what is it? You're being a little bit vague. He says. He stands up, going over to the cupboard.
The peanut butter jar.
Seriously?
Please.
Do you know how expensive the peanut butter is?
I'm craving peanut butter. Looks at him with puppy eyes.
You know, I can't say no when you look at me like that, he says, looking away.
Amelia just laughs a little bit, and I know.
He gets a peanut butter jar. Alright. Only one spoonful.
All right. She agrees and excitedly waits for him to get the spoonful.
He takes out a spoon. He takes a significantly large thing and then he, puts it into like a little, plastic cup thing and hands it off over, closing up the jar, putting it back. And he doesn't put it on the top shelf, puts, slightly lower because he's going to be away for a while.
Oh.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Champs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've completely blanked because I got lost in this husband side plot that's happening right now. Is this a cope, a support, or an engage?
Support.
Support. Okay, got it. So yeah, I'm sure you just gotta come up with a problem. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Emilia notices that he puts it down like quite low, and immediately picks up on this, and with the cup of peanut butter, she just eats it like on its own and asks, so what's this job that you said you got?
Seeing you visibly just eat peanut butter raw makes him visibly shudder. As it always does. And he's like, rubs the back of his neck. Doing a taker job. We're picking up some, fax machines, basically.
A taker job? Aren't those
Yeah.
jobs really, really dangerous?
Yeah, but, pays the bills.
How long are you gonna be away for?
A week or so?
A whole week?
Hey, you can handle yourself for a week.
I know, but who's gonna get the stuff from the top shelf for me?
Well, I could take down the stuff from the top shelf now, so you don't need to. But you'll have to, monitor yourself so you don't, eat everything.
I won't. But you'll promise you'll be back, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay then. 1 week or so.
1 week or so. I might be back a little bit sooner, might be back a little bit later, but it's around a week.
She just noms on her peanut butter little bit sadly, but she understands. Gotta do some stuff to put food on the table.
All right. So, what's you've been glaring at over there?
Pardon?
Wasn't she looking at like a book cover or something?
Oh no, it was the peanut butter jar.
Ah, okay.
And basically getting everything down if he's gonna be gone.
Okay, yeah. So he begins the hard task of moving everything to be within reaching distance.
All right. I'm gonna make you roll for that, buddy, as the market bitch comes in.
Oh no!
Time to pay the market with a roll, buddy.
Damn that slut. She always ruins everything.
She's
Here
tearing our
comes-
family apart.
So, you need to move things, buddy?
You need to move things, buddy.
You gotta move
Hey,
everything.
Buddy. You know what kind of roll that is, buddy?
I have no idea, actually.
It's a resistance to move heavy objects, buddy. You have resistance, right, buddy? Unless you'd like to use a
Oh,
different set of
jeez.
roll to do it. Well,
I just
So,
Did you just accidentally
Okay.
backhand your daughter?
just give me. So what was being moved? Like normal objects are being moved around, sort of
Yeah,
thing, or is it,
no-
like heavy stuff and
normal, like, household, objects are being moved around. I imagine that the heaviest object I've moved is probably like a toaster or a crock pot. But, like, some boxes of food, some, like,
Yeah.
crackers, some jars of
Right.
different substances.
okay, all right.
But also, maybe, like, 1 or 2 electronical things.
Okay then. So it's not super heavy stuff.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna be like crushed by a vending machine. Right?
Yes, I keep the vending machine on the top shelf. So
Yeah, top shelf.
carelessly perched there. It's a really tough shelf, guys.
I do want you to roll athletics though,
Oh no.
as well.
Ooh.
This won't change what happens with the roll, just some aspects of
Where
it.
was that
Oh,
roll before?
nice.
There you go. So, just give me a second here.
That saved you from there being a vending machine on the top shelf.
Oh no! The vending chart.
Actually, I need you to roll foresight for there not to be a vending machine at the top shelf.
Are you serious?
You gotta think ahead to make sure not to put the vending machine on the top shelf.
Just curse my hoarding tendency.
Mhm.
Sif never shows up to the mission because he got crushed by a goddamn vending machine.
All right. The vending machine's on the second shelf, not
Second
the top
shelf. Okay, just making sure. There we go. Joking.
Yeah.
All right. So so you're moving stuff around, and you are I mean, it's your place is not like super messy or anything like that. But as you're kind of like organizing stuff, it's that sort of thing. Is like when you're putting stuff down the shelf and you put it down, maybe not super well, or you just kind of overextend a little bit with your reach. And as you're kind of putting stuff up on like easy to reach sort of pantry and other areas that are easy to get to, you do knock over a whole bunch of stuff. The glass portion of the crock pot, like the top lid portion, smashes open. Some of the stuff that is on the like on a shelf falls all over. Some of the contents spilling out.
Fuck!
You're able to dodge so that none of the stuff hits you.
God, no, the fucking onion pickles.
Yeah, There's just pickle juice all over the floor. The pickles are spread out. There is juice everywhere.
No, you got
Oh my god! Fucking Christ!
Some of the more kind of expensive, because in the apocalypse, a lot of the finer things in life, like salt and pepper and cinnamon and stuff like that, is really hard to come by. Some of that kind of spills out and it hits the floor, and it gets all mixed up.
I need to throw this over my shoulder.
It gets all mixed up in the pickle juice, so that's not usable anymore. That's money wasted.
After the horrible catastrophe, I just kind of like collapsed over. There's like all of these things on top of me. They're just scattered all around. I have a couple bruises now, and I'm just sitting there in my shame. The entire the two of the shelves just broke off there. I'm like, fuck. And I look over to Amelia and I say, well, at least it's on the floor now.
Amelia's just looking at him and laughing
Oh!
as hard as she
Oh,
possibly
no,
can. This was the funniest thing she's ever seen. This man brings her so much joy.
Aww.
With that, we'll end this scene there. Now, I was going to add, before we got into it again, but I mean, this is great. Essentially, through that failure, you failed the support, because the support was to move stuff within a reachable position and stuff like that.
Oh no, Jordan died for me.
Oh no.
No,
Am I
he's still
dead?
there. No.
Okay.
No, you're still there.
Okay, sorry.
Through that failure.
Yeah, through that failure, essentially because the support was helping like move stuff into reachable areas for I don't know why I'm blanking on the name so hard right now, for Amelia.
Yeah.
With that failure, essentially you had failed the engage. Now, usually when it comes to that, your character takes stress damage for not being able to help their dependent. And they aren't able to heal that damage that they take. Now, I added a thing on my own, where essentially, if through that failure you can find a silver lining, and your dependent isn't pissed or anything like that, then you still get the healing, you don't take damage. So since you found a silver lining with everything's on the floor, and it was able to make Amelia laugh, and Amelia is still enjoying themselves,
Aww.
you succeed.
Thank God.
Yay.
Fuck yeah! Just
Yeah.
Now, also, when it comes to failures, I also allow the reference rule. If you fail something, you can call in a reference. So in
Bobby,
in the-
help me take this off the floor.
So in the possibility that you dropping all that stuff really kind of ruined her day and didn't help her at all, you could call in a reference to try and succeed where
Okay.
you had failed.
Calls in a reference. The reference makes it even worse. Why do I even keep you around?
You're useless.
There's,
Now the fridge is on the floor.
It's easy
there's trash
easy
all
to
over.
reach.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
There's trash all over the floor. You sadly phoned someone to bring a ladder in. It's like there's nothing on the top shelf anymore, but if you want to just like lay up there, you can.
All right. With that, who would like to go next?
You know, I need to see Bree play Jellybean.
My role of a lifetime.
Okay.
You've been practicing this with Douglas.
Now, what is this? What is this vignette then? Red? Is it a cope and a support or an engage?
This one is support. She's here for his problems.
All right. Well, doggy Bree, you get to come up with a problem.
Yeah, yes I do. Alright, I got it. So
That Nutcracker makes her way over with some of her lunch for that day to share.
alright, you make your way over, and you see sorry, 1 second, let me what was the dog's name again?
She calls him Jellybean.
Jellybean.
He's a stray.
You see Jellybean
Jellybean.
sitting.
Actually, Bree, do you need a full description of how Jellybean is, or are you good to?
How much thought was put into this dog? Otherwise, I'm just gonna run with it.
I know that's really not much. It's just all Nutcracker knows is Jellybean's a stray dog that she comes by and looks out for every now and then.
Got it. You see Jellybean sitting, and Jellybean is looking ahead at something very focused in dog focus. It's just when they're locked onto something, and you see one of Jellybean's little floppy ears flip up when you call to them, but they do not look away from whatever they're looking at with intense concentration.
Oh, with that she comes over and goes, Jellybean, and kneels next to him. Jellybean?
Tailwag. But still look.
She scritches the back of his neck and she looks at the direction he's looking at.
He accepts these scritches on his dirty fur, and you see that he is staring intensely at a squirrel located at a higher location. It stares down at him tauntingly.
You're trying to chase this squirrel?
Jellybean sits up after accepting the scritches and looks at you. Does a little tail wag, nuzzles against you, but then looks back at the damnable squirrel.
She looks at him and says, did he do something? Does he need to pay?
Jellybean gives a tiny bark. You don't know if it's in response to you or the fact that the squirrel just jumped onto a different surface, slightly closer, but still too far for Jellybean's tiny dog legs.
She gets up, cracks her neck, and says, "All right, let's have a go." She's going to try to catch a squirrel.
Jellybean
I'll be honest.
tips over to the tree.
I'll be honest. I have no fucking clue what this rule would be. So make an argument for any of your rules to try and catch this squirrel.
She thinks the squirrel needs to pay. She will give him she'll land a punch on him if she can.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna punch a squirrel.
Okay, first things first. I think you need to catch the squirrel first. But once you get in range, I'll definitely allow you to make a punch. Athletics? Roll your athletics. Try and catch a squirrel.
My athletics are 2.
Oh my god!
Well, that's a success. Not Bonnie, sorry, Nutcracker. describe how you catch the squirrel. I don't fucking know. Describe how you catch the squirrel.
Okay, alright.
how you catch up, and then you can land a punch on it. With
One
your
second.
slick
I
club.
need to find an old freaking image of Bonnie taking this. Because I'll show you exactly how it begins.
I just love the idea of someone walking by and watch us.
Oh, people are definitely gonna watch this.
She puts down the leftover lunch tray. She gets down, all fours, and looks at the squirrel, and then fucking like Naruto runs out the tree and grabs the freaking squirrel.
Jellybean takes this opportunity to eat everything on the lunch tray that is offered.
You power all of your muscles as you bound up this tree faster than this squirrel can probably realize what's coming for it. And when it does, it's too late. As all it sees is all the camera sees is the outline of this squirrel, and then in like the small frame, but then overall the rest of the negative space is then taken up with a darkened version of Nutcracker, shining fist of spikes raised before it comes down and destroys this squirrel. Its body falls all the way down the tree until it hits the ground.
Jellybean sprints for it. With his tiny legs, he sprints forward and takes the squirrel up in his mouth and just shakes it around.
If the squirrel wasn't dead by that punch, I don't want to know what Jellybean does to it next.
The little white nuzzle around his mouth is stained red with the delicious win of a kill.
Nutcracker is raising this dog right.
Oh my god.
With that, Nutcracker, you could go back to having a good day with Jellybean, and I will end the scene there. People that watched on in both delight or horror begin to move away from what they've seen here today.
Oh my god! Can you imagine them meeting up and being like, how was your day? Oh, it was really good. I met up with my kiddo. We had some peanut butter. We talked about writing. What'd you do, Bonnie? I chased down a squirrel.
And I punched it.
I punched a squirrel. God bless Nutcracker.
Jesus Christ. Alright, I think we have only one last person to go, right? Or am I crazy?
And last.
We saved Bob Ross for last.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jinx's dependent is Bob Ross, who is a retired taker. He was only retired due to the fact that he was gravely injured, and she now pays for his medical bills as well as taking him out to the bar or to parties. His name is Bob Ross because even though he was gravely injured, he still makes light of everything. Everything that he says has a silver lining.
Aunt Chance, I guess you're the last person.
So, it would appear.
Chance is being humble, but he really wanted Bob Ross, I can tell. He's been holding back.
I've waited my entire life for this moment.
Alright, so I'm gonna go pick up Bob Ross to go to the bar. I'm probably gonna pick a support.
Everyone's doing support.
Everyone's doing support.
Well, I didn't have anything stressful today. I mean, it's all jinxy stuff.
Oh no, it's okay. You don't have any special day. I as the market make your strat.
So,
Do it.
So
I
you
got booze for that.
No, okay. Well, well, you can definitely do support. Poor unfortunate engaged. Don't worry.
So yeah,
Someday they'll choose.
Just gonna bang on Bob's door.
bang, bang, bang. And, after 5 or 4th or 5th bang, finally open up the door and say, Jinx, I love you. But why do you always need to just keep on going until I get to the door?
Yeah, just gotta make sure that you're still alive. If I get up to 10, then I know you're dead.
Next time, I'm just going to wait and see what happens if you think I'm dead.
I'm gonna like pat his cheek gently. Don't do that, otherwise you'll be missing a door. You ready to go?
Where are we going?
To the bar.
We went to the bar yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we go to the other bar?
Which bar?
I don't know.
There's a lot of bars here.
Well, which one do you want to go to?
Let's do Crooked Pint.
Alright, fine.
Need a lift or do you need help walking there?
I'm not that old.
Uh-huh.
I can get there just fine. Let me just get my walker first.
Uh-huh.
He-
That's what I
he-
thought.
He does a motion to go in back of his size, but then he just closes the door instead.
Just gonna sit there, like, tapping my foot and waiting.
Oh. The more impatient you become, Jinxie, the longer I'm going to take, he says as he starts to fiddle with his 2 keys on his key ring. He only has 2 keys to go through.
It's that one right there.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I kind of feel like it's the other one.
I'm sure you know which one it is. Just do it.
Then takes it, he just slowly, agonizingly puts it towards the keyhole. It's like, so, what have you been up to there today, Jinxie? As it slowly slots in. He
She
looks
like
at you and slowly begins to turn it.
I went and got a job. Now hurry up.
Oh, that's a first.
Hey,
Clicks.
hang on.
Boxes it.
I'm been the one who's making the money around here. You know what? If you're like so upset about not having money, I could take that walker and go sell it right back to the junkyard I got it from.
You mean the walker that I bought with my own money?
That's
that one?
semantics. Semantics. Let's go.
Ugh. He just he casually walks along. He doesn't actually need a walker.
Just gonna go walk with him. So how's it going?
Well, I say it goes well for the most part. A bit chilly, running out of firewood, but
Ran out of firewood. Why didn't you tell me?
hey, I can't rely on you for everything.
Hey, yes you can.
Just because I can doesn't mean I should.
Listen, if I don't take care of you, nobody will.
I can take care of myself
No, you
just
can't.
fine.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. I wake up every day.
Prove it. Punch me right now. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. I'll even hold still for you. Ready? And I'm gonna lean
Not
down so
gonna
my
prove.
face is like, right in front of him. Let's go. Come on.
All right, you asked for it.
Let's go.
All right, Jinx, roll a dodge.
What do I roll to dodge?
That is going to be your athletics, I believe.
I think I see where the stress is coming from.
That's a success. You are able to dodge the blow.
Yeah, you're a feeble old man. I'm gonna take care of you, okay?
Either you dodge it or you take the hit, but it doesn't do anything.
I'm just gonna take the hit and just smile. Come on. Let's go.
He begrudgingly follows.
Now, how long have you been out of firewood?
Few days.
But we went out yesterday. Why didn't you tell me?
It didn't come up.
What do you mean it didn't come up? You could just say, "Hey, Jinx, I'm out of firewood, yo. Hey, I can get you firewood, yo."
It didn't come up. Okay.
Okay. Stuff like that needs to come up.
I don't think so.
It does.
I have more than enough blankets to
Bobby.
keep my myself warm. What, Jinx?
You
Yeah.
need to tell me when you're out of firewood. Actually, you know what? Get back in your house. I'm gonna go get you some firewood.
We walked out. We're 2 blocks down, and now you want me to walk back?
Fine. You know what? I'll help you. I want to pick them up.
Roll
Ugh.
resistance. Actually, hold on. Don't roll resistance. He's a feeble old man.
Just gonna pick them up and slough them over my shoulder.
It's not centric towards your support here, so I'll let you pick him up.
I'm just gonna pick him up and slough him over my shoulder. Walk on back.
Mm-hmm.
Set him in his chair. Now, stay there. I'm gonna go get you some firewood. I'm gonna start a fire, and I'm gonna make you something tasty. Maybe, I don't know. I can't cook. I'll make it takeout. I don't know. I'm gonna go get firewood though.
Fine.
Okay. I'm gonna tuck him in with a nice little blanket, and then I'm gonna go get some firewood. I'm gonna go find a tree and break some wood.
Want to find a tree and break some wood.
Yep, I got an axe.
Okay. Give me a sec here. Are you leaving the enclave to find a tree, or are you just gonna find a tree on the side of the road somewhere? Or actually, let me double check something about your enclave just to make sure it doesn't have anything concerning wood already. I don't believe it does, but it might.
Yeah, I'm kind of out of money, so I need to go get my own.
Nope. Wood production or anything like that is. Ooh, but you do export wooden tools and such. So there is definitely a place where they're getting wood from. But that does not mean that you can't go out into the wild by your own self with the axe that you have and try and cut something down. If you'd like to leave the Bastion of the Enclave. Otherwise, you can try and find some place inside of Tellaride to get your own wood.
Let's find somewhere inside, because I don't want to get into a fight and be here for a while.
Okay, alright. So, then the only thing I need you to do, because cutting down a tree, I'm not going to make you roll for that. With enough time, you could do it. But I am going to have to ask you then to roll a stealth, because a lot of the places in Tellaride are either kind of free, are occupied by people, or they're sections of the town where the actual people that are in charge are still kind of using it as storage or to scavenge stuff off of, and they have their own operations there. So roll stealth to sneak a tree to cut down.
Okay, so I don't have any buffs in that, so I just roll straight d10s, right?
Yes, but actually, I'll change what I said. Do you have a skill you would like to use to try and sneak a tree? That you can make an argument for other than stealth, because I don't want to force you to make
I do have a point in intimidation.
Okay.
Let me cut down your tree or I'll cut you down.
Okay. So you just go up to a random house that has there's more than a couple trees that it could stand to lose, or at least
Yeah.
has a couple trees they won't miss one.
Yeah.
So you just go up to the
Like
front door and you knock on it.
Yep.
Okay.
I need a
you go-
tree.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, you go. They you knock. They open the person opens the door. There's a lot of like noise and commotion going on inside. And he kind of comes back with like a slight smile. He's like, "Sorry, it took me a while. Did you need something?"
Yeah, I need to cut down one of your trees.
I'm sorry.
I need to cut down one of your trees.
Is Bobby here, or did you leave him behind?
Sure, he can be here if he followed me.
Jinx. This is someone else's trees.
You see this feeble old man? He's out of firewood. I need to cut down one of your trees.
I'm very sorry about Jinx. Very, very,
He's also senile. Don't listen to him.
I'm sorry that's a problem, but we're all kind of trying to like.
Now listen here. Either you let me cut down one of your trees or I'm cutting down your house.
All right, roll intimidation.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No!
Uh-oh. Okay. So this person at first was like, okay, scary lady, axe. Very kind of put off at first, but then like he kind of starts getting like a bit of a background. He's like, a backbone, sorry. And he just goes, I'm sorry, excuse me. Do you have the authority to just cut down someone's tree?
I believe we are all one with nature, and I believe that...
No. Are you bait? Did you just come over just recently? Are you part of the DHQS or anything like that? You just gonna just take people's stuff?
She shrugs.
Do the
Yeah,
mountain goats know you're doing this? Does Paula know you're doing this?
No.
Okay. I am going to go back into my home. And if I know, because I'll count right now the amount of trees I have on my property. And if I'm missing a single one, they will hear about it.
I'm gonna point a finger at him. You couldn't count if your life depended on it.
Well, at the very least, I can count 2 of you, and I remember your faces. And he'll kind of go back into his house and close the door, like keeping an eye on you.
I'm gonna look at those trees.
Now, you can just go for it and cut down the trees, but that might cause a complication in the future. Or you can try to find a silver lining with the situation, or a different way to try and get firewood.
I'm gonna take off my own coat and wrap it around Bob. Come on, I'll go cook you dinner. It'll be nice and hot.
I think Chance.
All right.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna help him back to the house and I'm gonna cook him dinner. Probably not the greatest meal ever, but it's food.
It's food and it's warm.
It's food and it's warm.
How is Bob feeling about this? In the aftermath.
Well, I don't really think there's a big silver lining here. He still needs that firewood.
Okay.
However, his day was not ruined. And he still has a means to get firewood himself. It's just,
Let's just Jinx was unable to assist.
Jinx was unable to assist.
Okay. So Jinx, you're able to get that. I need you to roll self-control.
Oh boy. All right. Let's see.
You have you have nothing in self-control, huh? So it's
Nope.
just the D10. And what is your it's your adaptability? Ooh, you are lucky. You succeed.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Mhm. With a straight potential roll, since you have nothing in self-control. And you have 2 in your adaptability, so that means that you have to get below 2 on your black dice to succeed.
Oh,
Ha ha ha!
So you don't lose it. You would have gained a stress from like seeing your dependent kind of going through some tough times as other stress. I could even argue with attachment. But either way, you succeed your roll, so you're not going to take that stress. But because you're unable to succeed in the vignette, you won't be getting healed by your humanity for any of your humanity stuff just yet. You don't have any humanity damage, so that's good. But essentially, how this would then work out is since that it was a support, you still, of course, want to help your dependent Bob. You just couldn't find a way to do it now. So essentially, when you go on a mission, you can keep an eye out for something to help Bob, and if you're able to secure it and bring it back with you, you will then, at the end of the mission, be able to get healed by Bob for humanity threats and helping him then.
Awesome.
So you can like put a note down somewhere on your sheet that you need to get firewood for Bob. So on the next when you guys do your mission, you can keep an eye out for potential hauls of firewood to bring back.
Yeah.
But yeah, 807 is also looking for wood, but more specifically, 807 is looking for replacement stuff for their for a table, which isn't firewood. So hopefully you guys don't come to odds with you guys needing a table there. one needing to give it to someone and the other needing to cut it up.
oh,
He would
love-
literally die if I don't give him this firewood. Will he though? Well, no, but
I love if 87 finds a perfectly good table. Like, look at this. And then freaking Jinx comes down and just smashes it in half.
Yeah, someone just like, very well, you've chosen death.
you know what? I haven't touched anyone yet, but I'm gonna touch you. Yeah? Come at me. Let's go. I'm immune.
That's also another thing to establish for the immunes in our group. Have you readily told people that you're immune?
No.
No.
Do people in your crew know you're immune?
No.
Okay. So just keep that in mind with trying not to broadcast the fact that you're immune, because remember, being immune comes with its own issues.
You know, people freaking want to eat us.
So some people want to eat you, others just want to sell to you.
Yeah, that's better.
And in Bonnie's old group's case, those people want to breed you.
Ah. Oh, thank you.
Interesting.
Nutcracker knows what's up.
Get away from me, Nutcracker. I don't trust you anymore.
Not
So-
Okay.
So with that, I know that we are coming to that fateful time where we're going to have to end. But I will do one last scene because we will schedule another time to do this so that this is now a 2-shot. But we will. I'll end on one last scene. As the next day eventually rolls around, and you guys meet up once again when the time comes to leave. Some of you might be early, some of you might be late, but all that matters is that you get there at all. Whether you're late or early doesn't really matter that much this time, other than people's personal preferences, because, of course, the people that man the gates, the mountain goats and some of the other fencemen, they double check the entrance area to make sure that, no one's going to get surprised by a casualty on their way out. So you got to wait for them to do that after you tell them that you're going to leave. So it takes a little bit. In that time that takes you all to assemble. Oh, wait, this is wrong. Here we go. In that time that it takes for everyone to assemble and wait for the gates to be open to let you guys out, emotions are, they're not high, but they're a bit wandering here and there. For some of you, this is your first time going out into the loss, with all of its dangers and everything that could be waiting for you out there, willingly. Your experiences before being in this enclave are separate from now. Every second you guys are out there could be a second that you guys could be eaten alive and killed. There is no doubt about it in your minds. The only reason you're fully doing this is because you need to. And I need everyone to make a self-control check.
Oh.
I do not have any self-control.
Yeah, what happens if I meet my my adaptability?
What's that, sorry?
I met my adaptability.
So ties go to the market. So that is a fail. But man, you were really close again. Lucky.
I got a tie, so
Tie?
Yep.
Okay. So that is then
goes to the market.
goes to the market. So that's 3 fails?
Oh, what did King get? I only see one roll.
'Cause I don't have a
6.
roll on.
Yeah, so hold on.
self-control.
Okay, so then either way, it's a 5, and the max you
Yeah,
can get
it's
at, I think, is
fail.
3. So that's a fail.
Am I the only one that made it?
Nice.
I think you are the only one that's made it 807.
Shit.
It might be because you had a talk kind of about it with... You kind of been thinking about what could happen when you're out there a bit already. And plus, I mean, you were with a raiding group. You've seen some of the worst that the Lost has to offer already. But it never gets easier going back out there. Everyone else, please take a hit of stress, I think. Let me just double check. Because it might be more. Nope, I think it's just a hit of stress. As the sheer weight of essentially going out into what could be your death gets you a little bit. But you have to do it. You have to go out there. You have to do this job. This is how you become takers. This is your entry job into this world. And if you start off this new life you're trying to make for yourself poorly, then you might never actually get into it. If you never actually leave the Enclave, you will never become a taker. So you are able to will yourself to go while under some stress. As the Enclave's fencemen finally kind of clear the way for you guys and make sure that it's safe, and the doors begin to slowly kind of be opened to you, your dependents come to see you off, and other people that you guys know, if you have multiple people as dependents, or just people that you know that are in the town. They wish you luck, they give hugs, they bark, they say your goodbyes, they wish you luck, of course, and there's this understanding that you might not come back with them. So without it being a full like I'll see you in the next life sort of goodbye, it's just enough of a goodbye where it's like they make sure most of everything is kind of said. But once everything is said, you guys are allowed to make your way out into the lost. And hopefully, you shall return. And that is where we'll end.
Yay.
Good ending.
Hey! I want to take part of the sound, so.